Welcome back to our LaSalle Board of Education meeting. We started this afternoon at 4 o'clock, and we will have an update on that. So first we're going to do is start our meeting with a Pledge of Allegiance, and will Mr. Derek Chan please lead us in the pledge?
It would be my pleasure. So let's all rise, hats off, right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will now have a summary of our earlier workshops. Dr. Pulver, please.
Thank you, Madam President, esteemed members of the board. We were delighted at our workshop to be able to really celebrate all things Lee Elementary. So we had our principal, Mr. Gary Willems, to give us a report about Lee Elementary. We had several students who joined him for that presentation. Oliver, Charlotte, Leo, and Finnish also helped Mr. Willems present to us about Lee Elementary. And then, of course, we had the lovely students at Lee, their choir perform a patriotic song and their Lee Family, We Are Family song along. And then we had the extreme pleasure to be able to honor and recognize Kirsten Powers as Lee's Hero of the Heart. We're so fortunate to have so many of our parent volunteers who go above and beyond to help support our students. And then we had got to be able to honor our district teacher of the year. The county, based upon our school size, only allows us to recognize one teacher of the year, and that is Miss Lisa Haygood, who has 33 years of public education, 28 years as a teacher, all at Lee Elementary. So we're so thankful for that. And that was the bulk of our workshop.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Pulver. Okay, we're now going to start on my board president's report. And I don't know if you noticed, but all of the board members, and Dr. Pulver has on a purple tie. Is that a purple tie, Dr.? Yeah, that's the effort. That's the effort. Okay. You've okay. Okay. It's because April is the month of the military child. And if you take all of the colors from all of the armed services and put them together, combined, they create purple. So we are here to honor all of our students who are part of a military family. I'd also like to mention that McGaw Elementary School received a Purple Star Award, which means they were the only school in Orange County to do so, and it was in recognition of their support and recognition that they give the military and the sacrifices that the entire family makes when you have a parent who is in the military. And we're just really proud that that they were selected, because they really do a lot when they do their flag decks and Veterans Day. They very much try to incorporate the Seal Beach Weapons Station, which is literally across the street from the school. And I think it really helps the teachers and obviously the students to feel very proud of their country and what they're doing. So the thing is that I'd like to also say is that we have approximately in our entire district about 500 students who are of military family. And when you have a parent who is deployed, it affects the entire family. As adults, we all know that. And although we may not be in an area, living in an area where we have to worry about any kind of really kind of conflict going on constantly, but if you have a loved one who is there, that's really hard to deal with also. So I also want to thank the military for supporting us with military family life counselors, which are specifically on our campuses. They're on both of our middle schools and our high school counselor, and they focus on children of military families. We just really appreciate our country. We really appreciate all the things that we can do here in LaSalle and California in the United States. And we couldn't do these things without the people who dedicate themselves to making our nation as good as it is and as safe it is. So this was my report, is to say thank you to all of our military and to let their families know that we really appreciate the family sacrifice that goes on with something like that. Then we have this whole thing down there that I didn't bother to put up before. But basically, it's what I said, is that we try to support them. I know that also the Seal Beach Weapons Station, specifically at McGaw. I live in Seal Beach, so I'm more aware of this. They will come across and help set up for Carnival. They help during our Pageant of the Arts. And we just really try to have a great relationship with them so that they are totally part of the community there. Okay, then let's keep going. There's all the colors, the blue, green, red, yellow, turned together in order to be purple. And this is what the kids are going to be wearing next week in order to celebrate the military child. So now, what do board members do? I'm going to talk about closed session because I have always had people say, what do you guys do in closed session? It just sounds so interesting. Well, we're not keeping secrets from the public, which is, to me, the most important thing. We are actually prescribed by law what items, categories, topics, whatever you want to call it, refer to it as, that we can discuss in closed session. Otherwise, we must discuss it in open session so everyone can hear what we're talking about. But it is to protect the rights of individuals, and it has other confidential information. So the topics are, we discuss employees, we discuss students, student appeals, student issues, we discuss any kind of litigation that we might be going on, and property does come up if we are thinking about any kind of a purchase or selling of any property, which we're not. With that, we're not buying or selling any property. We have no money to do anything like that, but that is included in the list of things that you can discuss. So frequently when we come back, I will say, or the board president will say, we were in closed session and we took no action. That's because we did not take a vote. Now, if we were to take a vote on some item, one of the items that I have already previously mentioned, we would come back and say in closed session concerning employee A, student B, whatever, the board voted, and if it was a 5-0, a yay or nay, that would be fine. But let's say I voted yes and everybody else voted nay, then it would be reported how each individual board member voted. And that's, again, to give the information to the public who are wondering what we're doing. So that's what board members do in closed session. And now, because we had a friend who was not able to make one of our longevity times, I would like, this time of year, our entire district recognizes all our employees in 5-year increments. And we had an employee who was unable to attend the one, I just got it off, the one that was for her. And so I am very pleased that I am able to hand a 30-year pin to Mrs. Marlis Davidson. And I just want to say congratulations. I'm sorry you weren't there and you didn't get to have a high five from everyone, but your years of a teacher, your years that you have spent on this board, your dedication to all things LaSalle and all things student-centered is inspiring. And thank you very much. Thank you.
Mrs. Catulli, we honor as a board the top years served at every school. And Marlis, you beat out the superintendent, who was not happy about not getting his medal. So here's your medal.
I do got a medal.
You make a difference.
Yes, I would like to add that Dr. Pulver did get his 25-year pin. I have been here for 24 years. He's been here for 20, Dr. Pulver's been here for 25. He started out as a science teacher. Then he was an assistant principal at McCullough. Then he was the principal at Lee. Then he was the assistant superintendent in charge of human resources. And then he's the superintendent. Now, I've been here 1 year less than him, and I'm still a board member. So I will now turn this over to my favorite part of the meeting, and Joelle. Pass it down.
Good evening, President Catulli, esteemed board members, Dr. Pulver, and community members watching in person or online. My name is Joelle Kaiser, and I'm your student representative to the Board of Education from Los Alamitos High School. Starting things off, we had a great kickoff to spring break with our annual Griffin Games. This week-long competition between the red team, which is freshmen and seniors, and the blue team, sophomores and juniors, consisted of dueling dress-out days like country versus cowboy. Country versus country club. That's what makes it the duel. And lunch activities that include staff and students like an epic cannonball contest and a game of water balloon toss. To finish off this amazing week, the football field was transformed into a Los-Al carnival. During this field day, students had a plethora of options, from playing laser tag with friends to getting glammed up with glitter tattoos and crazy hairstyles. It was a nice sunny day and a great opportunity for students to get fresh air while also enjoying the company of their fellow Griffins. Throughout the week, ASB kept track of each team's points. Students could earn points by posting their dress-out gear on social media, attending lunch activities, and winning the lunch activities. And in the end, red team, freshmen and seniors, came out on top.
Yay.
Next, Los Al High hosted the annual College and Careers Fair. Present were over 60 exhibitors, giving students the opportunity to talk with college admission representatives and learn about different academic programs and careers. Also greatly attended were 3 breakout sessions focused on careers in health, careers in business, and essential employment skills. I always find value in attending this fair as it equips students with the knowledge and resources they need in order to achieve their future goals. And next, one of our biggest sports on campus, track and field. As their league comes to a close in about 2 weeks, track athletes say their favorite part of the sport is the camaraderie they feel every day of practice as well as during meets. In more recent news, junior Devin Bragg broke a meet record for the 100 and 200 meter at Orange County Champs Meet in Mission Viejo this past weekend. We are just in awe of all of the track and field stellar athletes. And this month, I had a lot of fun learning about Mr. Long's digital art class by going into the class and getting to know some of the students. They showed me their impressive artwork, but also their creative process. The students are given an assignment. That day, they were working on a wall mural assignment. And from that assignment, they are able to take this topic anywhere into any design that they want. Now, I visited when a lot of students were finished with their assignment, and this is where Mr. Long encourages students to use their free time to work on other independent projects using digital art. Some students shared with me that they love to do this inside and outside of the classroom, spending upwards of 14 hours on one project. They have so much pride in their work. As one student shared that a special moment was when she borrowed her dad's phone and saw that he had set his wallpaper to one of her digital artworks. Overall, this class was filled with smiles and laughs and really provides a testament to the positive impact arts has on our students. And now every year for Griffin Games, ASB does a Griffin News takeover episode. And I've always admired Griffin News, but being able to work with them on this project really opened my eyes to how amazing the program is. They create Griffin News videos at least every other week, a high-quality newscast spreading important information as well as comedic segments that add fun energy to the video. In addition, they are quite literally always on campus. I went to a jazz show with my family, and I turn around and I see Mr. Brown and 3 other students filming the whole show. They're always there. And that really serves a testament to their dedication to their craft. Right now, they're making their annual short film set to come out on May 31st. And overall, this is an unbelievably talented and devoted group on campus. And honestly, if I had to redo high school, I'd probably want to be a part of Griffin News. And last, our student spotlight. Zach is an amazing senior and impacts Los Alamitos High School in a multitude of ways. Along with being a high-performing AP student, he is heavily involved in the jazz program at LoSal. He is lead trombone in Jazz 1, a part of an award-winning combo group, but also their jazz tech lead, which puts him in charge of all the band's equipment. A great accomplishment of his was organizing the entire jazz library, which is over 1,300 charts, with the help of 2 friends. This involved an Excel spreadsheet and a website that will ensure that the library will stay organized for a long time. Outside of school, he runs his own band called the Groove Merchants, which plays at St. Germain's Bistro on Main Street, Seal Beach, Wednesday nights and Sunday brunches. This unique experience has made him foster networking skills in order to find new opportunities for his band. Zach's favorite memory at LoSal was hosting the Student Jazz Showcase last year, as he co-hosted the show with one of his best friends. Having a vaguely scripted approach to the show made his comedic improvisations all the more hilarious. After high school, Zach is heading to UCLA to major in chemical engineering in hopes of finding a career in the field, while also continuing to foster his love of jazz with gigs on the side. And with that, I would like to open the floor to any questions or comments from the board. Yes, President Catulli.
Jillo, I know your comment about Mr. Brown's video class. We do a Christmas video every year, and he and the students took over and helped produce it, and they filmed it and edited it and that kind of things. And yes, it was like the kids were so professional. They knew what they were doing. I personally didn't know what I was doing, but I did what they told me to, and it came out okay. And it is, and I actually thought, like, wouldn't this be a fun thing to really learn how to do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do such a great job.
Any other comments? Good job. No, good job as always. We so enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, I need to say superintendent's report. I already checked you off on my agenda. I thought you
You
would.
do run the meeting, so
Well,
I'm
I really am not.
graciously waiting to be called upon.
Yeah, I guess I'm not secure in my power here.
Well, thank you, Madam President. It's always a pleasure to be able to share a little bit at each of our board meetings of some of the work that we do or highlights of the district. And so tonight I wanted to start off with as recognizing many of our employees of the year. And so today, you heard me earlier announce that we got to honor Lisa Haygood, who is our District Teacher of the Year, the 2025 Teacher of the Year. I'm like, wait a minute, we're in 2024? Why is it 2025? Because it's a statewide program. And so we have to nominate ours first, then it goes to the county level, and then eventually the counties go up to the state, and the state will select. So by the time all that processes occur, it'll be the 2025 Teacher of the Year. We look forward to recognizing her again in the fall next year, where she'll be able to go to the Disneyland Hotel along with all of the Orange County districts who had got to nominate their Teachers of the Year. And then at our last board meeting, we recognized 2 of our classified employees of the year. Mary McCullough is the 2024 Classified Employee of the Year for us. With the county, the classified employees, they have different categories. And so the category that she is in is Clerical Administrative Services. She is the office coordinator at McAuliffe Middle School, who just does an exceptional job. And so much so that she was awarded the Orange County Classified Employee of the Year as well. So a county finalist. Mary McCullough. And then we have an amazing information technology team who just go above and beyond to service our students and our sites and our families. Ramon is no exception. He's such a humble and gracious man who just goes above and beyond. He's been promoted by us multiple times, and I think currently his role is a security analyst for us. And so he's our 2024 Classified Employee of the Year for Technical Services. Earlier in the year, when we had Weaver's school report, we got to recognize Karen Ganzer, who is also the Employee of the Year for us under the paraprofessionals. She works as an instructional aide servicing students with special needs, and she's just one of the aides who goes above and beyond, extends her hours or different process. She's one who will go and support any students that we need, and she's just such a gracious and amazing individual. It was so nice to be able to recognize her back in December at Weaver Elementary. The whole staff, it was at the flag ceremony, and they really could see the amazing work that she does. And then in May, we have yet to recognize her formally at a board meeting, but we did recognize her at the district. Evan Grandin, who's been a teacher for us for a number of years at Weaver Elementary. And then for the last 10 plus years, probably, she's a teacher on special assignment. She provides all the coaching for our elementary teachers, particularly our new hires for the part of our 5-year professional development plan, really focusing on reading strategies and also supporting parts of our intervention reading labs and our intervention teachers as well. So we're really excited. We'll be able to recognize her formally at our board meeting in May, along with our next Employee of the Year, which is Miss Grace Delk, who is here in the room at every board meeting. She is our Administrator of the Year, our Director of Special Education and Mental Health. And, you know, obviously we think the world of her. She does everything she does. She's exceptional. And of course, the county recognized her as well. So she is the Orange County, the AXA Region 17, which represents all of Orange County Special Education Administrator of the Year. So congratulations to all of our Employees of the Year. And then I want to thank LAIF because, you know, our district, our size, we have so many spectacular teachers that we only get to honor one teacher based upon our district size. And so LAIF has awarded an opportunity for us to be able to recognize one Teacher of the Year from every school site. And we'll be doing that. I think it's May 1st that LAIF is allowing us to do that. I've been trying to highlight as well, again, because one of the things we really talk about is such exceptional people, our rock stars of the month. So last month we got to recognize Jennifer Bellender, who's a teacher at McAuliffe Middle School, who just does an exceptional job. She does ASB, and I think she sent students over spring break to a trip to
Paris.
Europe, Paris.
France.
Yeah. And then Laura Younger, who is our school nurse over at Rossmore Elementary, who always goes above and beyond to support all of our students at Rossmore, and just a true advocate for kids as well. So congratulations to our rock stars of the month. And we're about ready to get to surprise our March rock stars of the month. We're always a month behind because we let the month expire before, and we receive nominations from anybody in the district can nominate an Employee of the Year, any of our staff. And then I thought I would share, just, you know, we don't get an opportunity to do this too often, is to really share some of the pure joy that we get to have. And one of those is, in my role as superintendent, and typically board members join me as well, is to do site visits and walkthroughs on our campuses. And I try to get to every school site 4+ times a year, and have to do that more at the high school to make sure we can really get to all the different departments just because of the sheer scale. But it's just such a joyful opportunity to be able to witness the amazing work that our students are doing, that our staff are working on. And I get some of the best stories or some of the best interactions talking with our students. And they're so eager to share with us you know, the work that they're doing. And it was interesting, just last week, I think we were at 3 schools. I went to Rossmore, McGaw, and McAuliffe. And we were at Rossmore, and one of the students walked in and he sees my name badge and he says, "Superintendent, are you Mrs. Colty's boss?" And I said, "Well, kind of." He goes, "A boss of a boss. That's interesting."
Everybody's got a bus.
They're precious for sure. And so we're just so, it really, and I don't know of another board who really, because all of you spend so much time out of your own personal time to also join us to do walkthroughs. Our board is extremely visible and really cares deeply. And for them, for all of you, what I always hear from you as well is it's so neat to see, oh, we heard us talking about, we just approved that curriculum, or we just approved that app, or whatever it happened to be. And now we see it implemented at the school site. And so we're just so thankful, and it's really one of the joys to be able to come and share at all of our campuses. And Speaking of that, I had, as a
Eyeballs.
former science teacher at McAuliffe Middle School, Mr. Happel, who's a teacher at McAuliffe, who I taught with at McAuliffe when I was there, we were doing a visit at McAuliffe, and he had said, hey, his son or child goes to Lee Elementary, and he said, I'm going to go demonstrate a cow's eye dissection. Would you like to join me? And thinking of the old days when we used to do dissections, when you used to do that. And so all of fourth grade at Lee Elementary, we came into the media center, and we got to dissect a few different cow eyes and kind of show them what it was. They were able to see the pupil, the retina, and the optic nerve, and the rods and cones that are inside the retina, and which ones see color and which ones see black and white. So cones see color, C for cones, if in case you, and then the rods see black and white. And then we shared with the students, well, that's why you can tell sometimes if certain animals, when people say, well, those animals don't see color, how do you know that? Because if they don't have cones in cells in their retinas, they obviously can't see color. So it was just a really great opportunity to take a look at that and to demonstrate and be a part of it. I want to thank Mr. Happel for allowing me to team teach with him. And then assistant principal Morgan Martin as well joined. Her child is also there, and she's taught science as well at Oak Middle School before she's assistant principal at McAuliffe, and she was a science TOSA for us. So the three of us had a great time being able to demonstrate that. And then we brought gloves for each kid so that they could touch the cow's eye if they wanted. And then to come back from spring break, it was such a fun opportunity for a rare opportunity of the solar eclipse. And so that was on Monday, April 8th. And I think we all kind of, hopefully we remember it. And it was joyful. I was at McGaw Elementary during a portion as the day of the eclipse, I should say. We were there in the morning till about 10, so it was just starting as we were leaving. But it was so neat to see some of the parents and what our parents do to help support our kids. So one of the kindergarten classes we were in, I don't know if it was a room parent or a parent, created little bags for every single kid. And in the bag, they put the eclipse glasses that the kids could wear to view it. They put sun chips, a small bag of sun chips in there, and then a moon pie in the bag. And so the kindergarten students got sun chips, moon pie, and get to take a look at the solar eclipse. And to be able to walk through and just to see the different science lessons that were occurring, even in preschool. In kindergarten, all the way up to fifth grade. What a great opportunity to be able to teach that, because as many of us know, we won't see another one of these for another 20 years here in the States. So, and with that, the final thing that I wanted to do is we do have a special recognition that I'd like to call up Mrs. Vicky Vu from the high school PTA, who has a special presentation for an honorary service award. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Mrs. Vu.
Thank you, Dr. Pulver. All right. Thank you, Dr. Pulver, for allowing me to share a portion of your time. Good evening to the board and the community members here. Tonight, it is my privilege to stand before you on behalf of the LEHS Honorary Service Award Committee to pay tribute to an individual who is deeply respected within the Los Alamitos school community. He is a cherished member of the Board of Education, a true champion for all students within LAUSD. You'll find him at every school event, from cheering on high school students to sharing hugs, offering words of encouragement, presenting awards, and making an effort to connect with as many students as possible. His presence isn't confined to high school events. You'll also find him enjoying meals with middle schoolers and recognizing achievements at elementary schools. He is an ubiquitous figure across all campuses, always sporting a warm smile, greeting every student and staff member, and sincerely wishing for everyone's success. It is a great honor that I present the Elected Official Honorary Service Award to Chris Papa Forahan.
Completely surprised me. That's so wonderful.
We actually have a little bit more to say. Here you go. So come on the side. He has a message
Are you
from.
gonna get to speak? Okay, good. All right.
A message from Mrs. Lume. Dear Mrs. Chris Forehand, aka Papa, On behalf of everyone at the Youth Center, I'm thrilled to extend our heartfelt congratulations to you on your well-deserved recognition. Tonight is a celebration of your remarkable contributions, and we couldn't be prouder to have you as a part of our team. Your unwavering dedication to making every student feel valued and special is truly inspiring. You consistently go up above and beyond to support and uplift children, and your commitment to recognizing their unique talents and qualities sets you apart as an exceptional board member and mentor. You deserve countless accolades for your incredible work and the positive impact you have on the lives of young people. Your kindness, compassion, and dedication do not go unnoticed, and we are immensely grateful for everything you do. From Lena Lume, myself, and the entire board of directors, we want to express our deepest appreciation for you, for your outstanding efforts. Thank you for being an extraordinary human being and for making a difference in the lives of so many. Congratulations once again on this well-deserved recognition. Here's to many more achievements in the future. With warmest regards, your Youth Center family.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God.
I would like you to introduce your family. Yeah, please introduce your family.
Oh, Hi, Bubba. Yeah, this is Liam, a fourth grader at Lee. This is my son. He teaches middle school. This is Shane. Yes, who's a sixth grader at Oak. My daughter-in-law, Charlene, who's a TK teacher at Lee. My sister, who is my rock and always has been. And then how nice to see Tom Barham, my neighbor. I didn't know he got out of And I have to say, this lady got me to the board, and it was her efforts that made it happen for me, and it's been my life. Thank you, Marilyn. No, you can't go home yet.
Okay, well, as you know, the board has no budget.
That's right.
And so on behalf of the board, of our board members and the entire district, I would like to give you a medal that says you are awesome, because you are. Yeah. The one thing I want to say is when Vicki said ubiquitous, that is the word that describes him. And I'll have people say, well, what do board members do? And I'll say, nobody does what Chris does. Whatever Chris does, we're so lucky to have him, and we need to enjoy him and appreciate him. And I certainly do. Congratulations.
Thank you, Meg.
You're very welcome.
I'm not going to speak. I can't, but it's changed my whole life. Sorry, guys. It truly gives me purpose every day. And that's so. And thanks to these guys. Thank you all very much. Is that it?
Okay, we would appreciate it if everybody could stay, because after our next item, we'll take a real quick recess, and then we're going to take pictures. Okay. So we'll go on to our next item of the introduction of our Director of Information Technology, Dr. Pulver.
Well, look, he already knew. I didn't even have to call him up. He came right up because I know who I am. I'm the Director of Information Technology. So we are so pleased tonight to be able to introduce one of the newest members of our team or our family here at Los Alamitos Unified School District, and that's Derek Chan, who's our new Director of Information Technology. He comes to us with a vast field of expertise in technology. He graduated from USC, had his bachelor's bachelor's degree there, but then went on and has his Chief Technology Officer certification, has spent probably 18 plus years within technology, but largely within the schools supporting public education. He's spent 8 years at the Orange County Department of Education working within IT, and also really marrying kind of some of the concepts with ed tech, which is really supporting the technology that we use to help enhance our teaching and instruction, and how technology can kind of help bridge that along. For 9 years, for the past 9 years, he has served either as a director or assistant director of information technology for Orange Unified, for Brea and Santiago Community College. And 6 of those years, he was the director of IT over in Brea Unified. And a lot of you may know Brea Unified is similar in some ways as Los Al in the sense that it's a smaller district with one high school. And so you really start to know the layers of all of our students land at our high school. And so we're just so pleased to be able to bring him on board. I talked with several members of our team in the IT department who were just so excited. You know, one of them stopped me, it was over spring break, and said, you know, Andrew, I want to thank you for hiring Derek. We had great candidates, but I just really think he's the right individual to help lead us where we're going moving forward. And we've had the extreme pleasure for the past 2 weeks. He's all of like 2 weeks, I think, on the job-ish, 2 weeks and maybe 2 days, because we're our Tuesday of this week. He just has such a joy, such a positive spirit, a welcoming spirit. He is a foodie, I've kind of learned. He likes to share food with his staff and with those that he gets to know. He enjoys paddleboarding, cycling, and you wouldn't be in IT if you didn't enjoy geeking out. And so he enjoys geeking out on ed tech. And so we just want to welcome you to our family. We're so pleased to be able to have you. I'm going to briefly call Elvia Galicia, our Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, who actually did this amazing hire.
Thank you. Good evening, esteemed members of the board. I am so thrilled and super excited to welcome Derek to our Business Services Department. He has really the last 2 weeks just integrated so wonderfully with each and every one of our team members. And I'm just looking forward to collaborating with you every single day, and except weekends, I'm sorry. Well, maybe so. But anyway, I'm just thrilled and super happy, and just looking forward to learning from you, because he does have expanded knowledge in IT, which I'm not very good at it, but I'm so happy and just trust his knowledge. So I welcome you, and I look forward to many years of collaborating with you. So welcome, Derek.
That's a tough act to follow. And everybody else too prior to me. But thank you, everyone. Thank you, President Catulli, board members, cabinet, as well as Los Al community here, and those who are watching online. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I feel like I circled the moon a little bit in terms of my career, but my experience in K-12 has given me that sense of purpose in a very similar sense. And having come from Brea myself, I always call it the one stoplight town, that at least the soul of that town is kind of like that. And I feel almost the same way here, where everyone is very tightly knit and is very welcoming and warm. And that's pretty much the first thing I experienced and felt when I first started here. So I couldn't be more humbled and be honored to be here. So I really hope to do the best that I can here, not just do the ones and zeros, but really how do we humanize technology to make learning a meaningful experience for all of your children. So thank you for this opportunity.
Welcome.
We're going to now go to board communications.
Well, I thought I might see if you wanted to entertain doing a recess before board comments, in case any of the people who were here to recognize Mr. Forehand. We could take pictures and then do board comments and then public comments. But you would want to do a motion to adjust the agenda.
Yeah, so I need a motion to adjust the agenda so that we move board comments to right before public comments and after recess.
I so move.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. So now we're going to go into recess and take pictures. Welcome back. I hope that was a short recess for everyone. We'll now do our board communications, and then we will have public comment. And I'd like to start with Mrs. Hill.
Thank you, Madam President. So it seems like it's been a while since we had a last meeting where we shared. So there's been a lot of things that have gone on, but really the one I want to highlight was really an opportunity to go to the awards banquet for District Number 10 for Park and Recs. And the reason why Dr. Pulver and I went to that event was that the district was honored by Los Alamitos City and Park and Recs for the use of our pool for their aquatics program. And so it's been a long time since they've been able to have a really robust aquatics program. They used to use the pool on the base, and then that wasn't really functional anymore. And so we were able to work out what's called an MOU, so Memo of Understanding with the city so that they could provide that for our community. And since our community paid that pays the bond dollars that paid for the pools. We really felt like we needed to find that way to make it work. And so it was really gracious of them to honor us, honor the board and the school district for making that happen. So that was a really wonderful evening that Dr. Pulver and I got to spend together. And so I also just wanted to talk a little bit. I also did a working group with the city, and I see the chief here this evening, and it's just amazing to be able to have that communication and connection between our Los Alamitos and the school board. For most people, I think, realize, but maybe you don't, is that we serve 2 cities in one community. So we serve Los Alamitos, Seal Beach, and then Rossmore. And that's a lot of different organizations to have to be able to connect. And so we've got great working groups to be able to do that. And I really appreciate us coming together and having really good conversations so that we can do things like have the pool available. I also had the opportunity to go to what was called Extravaganza, which is, as you may know, our choir is renowned all over the place, and they go to competitions and they win all over the place. And so what's really nice is that they put this competition on for other surrounding groups. And so we still had some groups. I saw the middle school boys at this competition, and it was just simply amazing. But it was great to see the energy. The thing I remember the most was that we were waiting while they were changing acts, and there were all these young people in the PAC, and somebody started singing a song, and they all started singing, and the energy in that room was just phenomenal. So that was a great opportunity as well. I had an opportunity to walk through Rossmore and Oak Middle School, and amazing things are being done at both of them. Chance to go to an improv show that was done by faculty, and that was a lot of fun. I'm sure somebody else will talk a little more about that. And then 2 last things. We have a theme every month related to mental wellness, and this month's theme also had a video, and the video, it's for mindfulness, and it was a 3-minute video, and I really suggest you watch it. I watched it, and it was a great short meditation, and I think that the more we can incorporate things like that in our life, whether it is us board members or whether I have my 5-year-old granddaughter who's doing those kinds of things. It really helps center us. So I really appreciated that video being put out. And then the last thing I just want to talk about was the ASL event. And I think Papa and also Mr. Fayette were there, and that was our ASL language classes, which is sign language, had an event for the deaf community to come in and be in community together, and to have our students be able to practice signing. And it was just really powerful, and I was so glad that I got an opportunity to go by. So that's it for me, Mrs. Catulli.
Okay, now Chris Forehand will explain why he was recognized by the PTSA.
No, I'm actually going to skip my out and about, which is all the multiple things I've done.
Okay.
I'm going to shout out to the teachers for all the conferencing they've done these past couple of weeks, and to the girls in STEM. Our Los Al High School meet with our youth center kids, and it's just very powerful, the girls. And I'm going to skip Broadway because I was there when we had Spotlight, but I wanted to comment what huge parent support to put that event on was incredible. I'm now going to go where I always go at the end, to students, and I have to commend Mrs. Vu was here tonight, but I met the LAE kids who are becoming buddies to the kids with autism. They're not only learning about autism and what it means, but they are budding up with these kids, and it's so powerful. Because I want to finish with the Kindness Club, which is right up my alley, because I have met Zach, who's the president at Los Alamitos High School of the Kindness Club. And the write-up about the club and the major number of clubs they have, the Contagious Kindness Club aims to spread kindness throughout the school and community. We believe that kindness should be one of the foundations of humanity through our work as a club. We hope to bring about influential, positive change, inspire others to follow. So on Thursday, I'm going to celebrate all the work they've done. They've had guest speakers like the former Mayor Tanya Dolby. Food finders have been there to talk. They've done projects for their food drives. They collected 1,186 cans of food. They collected 2,964 books for the homeless and have delivered it to them. They're cleaning up the beaches on Earth Day this week, and they're planning to work with our high school life skills kids at the high school next, and that is very kind. And then I want to finish with what Zach said. He said, I hope, this is his goal, and he's a senior, so he's building the leadership there. I hope to see Kindness Club become an organization with clubs and chapters at all grade levels across the entire country. So here's to that club, and thank you, Zach, for your leadership. I'll see you Thursday. Thank you.
Mrs. Davidson?
So first of all, I have to commend all of the football players out here. You are being so good. You're being exceptionally good, because I really understand there's no part of this that is fascinating to you. So your parents need to be extremely proud of you for your behavior, because I think I'd be squirming in the seat. So thank you. So I'm eliminating a whole bunch of stuff that's already been said. I do want to say that as we hit the open house time of year, please know your teachers work so hard on those classrooms. My niece teaches in the district and said she was so thankful that spring break happens right before open house, so she has spring break to get her room together. And I don't think that was what spring break was supposed to be for. Yeah. But they know how hard you all work, how the wonderful things that you kids do, and they want to display it for your family. So give a special hug or thanks to them. I also want to thank the choir for putting on the extravaganza competition, and in the midst of their own competition season, it's just amazing what all of you do, all the extra activities you do, and wish them good luck this weekend. It's their last competition in Oceanside. Then I also want to thank Mrs. Schaefer, who is responsible for leadership in the college and careers area in our center, and she just orchestrated and with her team that whole exhibition. And Mrs. Catulli and I went to a panel on how to be it was a business panel, how to be a really good person to hire, and I realized that I really fell short in a lot of ways, but it's a little too late to start over. So kids, find out early. The District Advisory Committee, I think Mrs. Catulli will probably talk about that. So I just want to say thank you to Mrs. Davis, who's in the back there and leads us in that committee that determines how to use funds to the best of our abilities to serve our kids. So thank you. What I do want to focus on, though, is our robotics team. And any of you that are interested in robotics, it is a phenomenal opportunity at the high school. And just before COVID, I was invited by one of my former students to go and watch. And they were huddled in this little tiny room space that had been found on the high school campus to keep this wonderful equipment that Leif had helped to purchase and the district had got for them. And we went to the competition at Marina, and it was it was kind of sad. I mean, because they were floundering, but all the other schools, Servite, all these schools that were well established came and were offering parts and helping fix the robot. And then the next time I went, which was a year ago, they had advanced so much, and I thank the Mrs. Kraus, the principal of the high school, and Mrs. Davina, who she has gone out of her way to find space on that campus for them to, and they have this wonderful room where they can do simulations. And this time, last year they made it to finals. This time they made it to finals and had an alliance with Mater Dei. That's a little hard for me to take, but Mater Dei and Oxford High School, and they came in 5th. There were 49 schools, and these schools are from not only across the nation, but outside of this country. Wow. So it's an amazing thing to see what these robots can do. It's beyond, it looks to me like something that should come out of a graduate school in college. So it's exceptional, and I applaud these students and the people who volunteer to coach them from professions. And I'd like to say to, I want to make sure I get, Lon Monk and Greg Wong, who are the only 2 seniors, and they're graduating this year. They have been tremendous leaders, and Lon is first sax and has been involved in so many jazz competitions, but at the same time, he led his team to incredible success over this past year. So I wish them the best. Lon plans to come back and mentor the teams in the future, so he may be helping one of you. And then I do want to say, we had 2 luncheons for McAuliffe and for Oak. They were both chosen as distinguished schools. It's not the first time, but every single time it is our state honoring 2 exceptional middle schools where the staff, the administration, the community come together to build such a strong foundation and make incredible connections. And those connections are what power our students to success. So I love it that you play football. I love it that that's a connection for you. And whatever you do in high school, in middle school and high school, you need to pursue your passions. Today at Rotary Club, we honored a student, Stephen Bray, who was chosen as Rotary Student of the Month from our campus. You have to check this out. Go to open house. We have literally an ambulance inside a classroom that we got through ROP, which Mrs. Catulli is so deeply involved in. And there's only one other school, I believe, in the county that has it. La Habra. This ambulance is so exceptional that my nephew, who is a firefighter, said it was better than what they had available to them when they went through the training. And they have the dummy that you do CPR on, only this one you can intubate. It's a $10,000, I hate to call it a dummy, it's a poor little plastic person, but you can do all, you can put lines into the veins. It's an exceptional piece for them to learn on. And why I think it's so valuable is we got to see some of the class members do demos, and these are kids who kind of came in high school early morning, They came to life as they did those demos. They would stop and explain things to us as if they were the teachers. So I applaud Mr. Weatherman, who is their instructor. It is an exceptional program, and there are all kinds of opportunities. You just have to go for them. So beyond that, I think that that's about all I want to say, except for we do get to have fun, too. We handed out 1,000 popsicles at the high school lunch the other day. And I'm telling you, the line built, you would have thought we were handing out $1,000 bills, but those popsicles went so fast. It was a lot of fun. And then we do other things like the potato bar here on St. Patrick's Day for all of the employees in the district. So school can be fun, being on the board can be fun, and being in this community is a treasure. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Fayette?
Yeah, I enjoyed handing out the popsicles too, because I got to eat all the broken ones. I'm going to be really brief. CO2 cars at Oak, the students in their science class actually build a little CO2 car. Those of you who may have been in Scouts remember the Pinewood Derby, same thing. They get to use power tools, they get to do the stuff. Very cool. I got to watch that on Friday. I'm waiting to hear, because Tuesday was supposed to be the winner of the kids bracket, got to challenge the teachers. So good luck to the students. I always root for them. I got to watch McAuliffe Middle School drama production on Monday. It was fantastic. It was 75 minutes, thereabouts. The 2 leads had over 100 lines each. Not 100 words, 100 lines that they had to memorize and perform. It was impressive. It's a drama, but I laughed at least 3 times. So you do get some humor in there. Fantastic. It actually has another performance tomorrow night. If you got nothing to do, it's cheap entertainment. But it's impressive. The other thing is coming up. You got the choir show, which will be a fantastic performance. It always is. They're spectacular. And the dance program. They're going to have their performances at the high school the 24th through the 27th. It's worth your time. It's not super long, and the kids, the things that they do are impressive. When they get up on the silks, which are these, I don't know, I call them drapes, but I know that's not what they're called.
That's what they
They're
are.
spinning around on drapes, and all I can think of is like, what's our liability insurance like? Outside of that, just thank you for everyone in the district, and if you can, check things out and echo what Mrs. Davis said. When you get to middle school, there's literally hundreds of clubs at the middle school. Try a couple. Grab your buddy. You each pick one. Go check it out. You're not making a commitment, and you'll never know what you find. Chase your passion. Maybe find your passion.
Okay, I am cutting things out, but with all the popsicle talks, they also had Pi Day at the middle schools and the high school, and that was obviously at 3.14. And some of the kids had no idea what it was, but you could tell the kids who were into the math because they started reciting pi. The Jazz Spotlight was incredible. Seal Beach, along with Los Alamitos, with our working groups, like Mrs. Hill spoke about, the Seal Beach group got together. And then I'm going to do my little ROP, which is our Career Technical Board that I sit on with 4 other school districts. And this coming week, we're having our Celebration of Success, where we give out scholarships to Students of the Year and students within specific pathways. And I want to publicly thank Marlis Davidson for stepping in and taking care of that for me. I am unable to attend, and I just really appreciate her helping me out. And the last presentation at my ROP building meeting was about a program that they have at the Anaheim High School, which is for high school students, and it teaches them dental assisting. We have an adult dental assisting class where you can get your registered dental assistant certificate or license called an RDA. My husband's a retired dentist, so I'm into this kind of teeth stuff. If the kids are 18 years old, if the students are 18 years old, they can take the radiology part of the certification course before they go into the high school program. And I was just really excited, and they have 3 sections of it at one high school, so I thought it was really exciting. And also, North Orange County ROP is going through a WASC review, which is an accreditation for colleges and schools. And they're doing a great job. We're doing a lot of reflection. And I think it's interesting because our high school's in that same process. So I get a lot of WASC reports. Okay, that's over with. I am now going to go to public comments. And I always like to apologize for mispronunciation of names before I start. We ask, I have to read this whole thing. The board welcomes input from the public. This is the opportunity for community members to provide public comment to the board on agenda items or items not listed on the agenda. Persons wishing to address the board must complete a speaker request card prior to the start of each meeting. Each speaker is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. Public comment is limited to a total of 30 minutes. Comment cards can be submitted to the district office anytime after 9 a.m. on the day of the board meeting and will be accepted until the start of the board meeting at 6 p.m. A speaker may not relinquish his or her time to another. When addressing the board, speakers are requested to address the board from the podium, state their name, and adhere to the time limits. The board may not take any action or discuss any item not appearing on the posted agenda, and we cannot immediately respond to public comments. Speakers are cautioned that under California law, no person is immune from liability for making intentionally false or defamatory comments regarding any person simply because those comments are made at a public meeting. That being said, will Michael Claiborne please go to the podium?
Hello, Mr. Superintendent, Assistant Superintendent, and the board for allowing me to speak this evening. My name is Michael, and I'm a resident of this community. When people think of reasons to move to Los Alamitos, the 2 that come to mind the most, that I've heard the most, are the school district and the youth sports. The school district has an amazing program, award-winning, And the youth sports here draw students from all around the surrounding areas, just as the high school does. And the thought of losing one of those crown jewels is disheartening to me as a resident here. And being that football is one of the most popular sports in this country by far, I would hate to have the costs of running the Los Al Pop Warner football program cause the program to have to fold. This football program has the opportunity to be a feeder to the high school, and it was only 2 years ago that CIF named Los Alamitos High School the #1 public high school football program in the entire state. And for people who don't know how many public high school football programs that there are in this state, that is a phenomenal feat to have been named that. Additionally, I have heard that there are some residents that would like more local kids to be on the team as opposed to transfers. Well, how do we do that? We create a feeder program within the city that can develop athletes that can move on to the high school football program. I've heard that the school is installing a new turf. I can only imagine the cost of what that must be, and that the increased costs could be a way to offset those costs. And I truly understand a budget, but I urge you to try to find other options. I've heard that there will be, after the new field, there'll be home games, the ticket prices, concessions, maybe even parking. I mean, Los Al Pop Warner could even help with fundraising opportunities for the district if we had to try to help offset those costs. I know the district does everything they can to retain great teachers. I know you do everything you can to retain, educate, and develop all these amazing students. And I'll take a shot in the dark here, but I'm guessing the police department does do everything they can to retain quality employees that truly care about this community. So help us foster that environment to retain the quality athletes that are in this community that eventually will want to go to this high school and not go to the school you mentioned in Santa Ana or the one in Bellflower that we end up competing with. And how can you help us do that? By keeping the cost of utilizing the facilities and the field as low as possible instead of having them triple, which ends up getting passed down to the parents. Thank you.
Thank you. Grant Stone.
Board members, thank you for allowing me to be here. I too am advocating for Los Alamitos Pop Warner. I think about children, and children are the most valuable resource and the best hope for our future. And as a father of 3 and a resident of Rossmore, I think about that, and I've given my time over the last 7 or 8 years coaching, and I've been given the opportunity through Pop Warner to coach the 7-on-7 football team for 13U, as well as next year for tackle. I played college basketball. I was a student athlete first. I was student athlete of the year at Long Beach State for the Big West Conference, so I know the importance of academics. But athletics teaches a unique skill set that I think that we need to really focus in on. Mr. Claiborne actually allowed me not to have to go into some of the details, which is great. But I want to talk about adversity, toughness, working in groups and teams, discipline, time management. That's learned through sports. And learned at a younger age is even better. I was listening to you, Dr. Pulver, you talked about joy, the joy you see in some of these children. The pure joy I get is coaching FNL, not the referees. But watching kids develop, and I've been on a number of teams, had the ability to coach the same kids over 3 or 4 years, and to watch that enjoyment, kids going to a championship game that probably will never get there because they bought into what I was trying to teach. I find a lot of joy in that as well. Another thing I noticed here today, talking about the welcoming and warmness of the community. I moved to this community. I plan on being here for a very long time because of that. There is a welcomeness here. I'm from Oklahoma, where when I moved into another neighborhood prior to being in Rossmore, I just kept waiting for the people to come over and bring me cookies. It didn't happen. And I moved in this neighborhood, and over the last 7, 8 years, it's been incredible, the warmth that I've felt. We all have different politics. We're from different races. We have different ethnic backgrounds. We have different religious beliefs. But the one thing that brings us all together almost always is sports. And I can't think of a better way to do that through the youth program that we're trying to establish here. A little bit about myself. Many of you guys know me, but that don't. I own 2 businesses in the community. I employ over 90 people here, many of which are Rossmore residents. I have a small business just down the street, another one. And the joy I get from working with the people in the community and watching and being part of their families and having the responsibility for taking care of them, that's something that I think we need more leaders. We need more people that understand that. And that comes from the discipline and what you go through in youth sports. The challenges that I'm hearing in the Pop Warner is that basically there's been some really, really poor communication in the past, whether it's from Pop Warner to this district and back and forth. I work a lot on emotional intelligence. If you saw me coach 4 years ago, you wouldn't believe that. But self-awareness and empathy are the two main points of EQ. And if we can all have a little more EQ, forget the past, and look forward to making a better future, I think things will work out great. And I'll leave you with this.
Finish your thought.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Then we have Michaela Marlin. Did I pronounce that correctly? Okay. Yeah, okay. And if you write on your lap, it's hard to write. Anyway. Mhm.
My name is Michaela Martin, and I serve as the Policy and Government Affairs Manager for First 5 Orange County. First 5 Orange County is dedicated to improving the well-being of young children and families. We were established 25 years ago when a portion of tobacco taxes were voted to be dedicated specifically to supporting young children and families. First 5 Orange County is a public agency that is responsible for the local funding for these programs for children ages 0 to 5. I'm here tonight to thank you as you vote to accept funding from First 5 Orange County. We are incredibly grateful for your continued partnership. I also would like to give an extra special thank you to Carolyn Wertheim and Candace Aceves, who are your early learning team members who work directly with our program staff and coordinate like many fantastic services. As we look at entering the 24th year of collaboration with various school districts, we currently now have partnerships, long partnerships with each of the 25 kindergarten serving school districts. And I'd like to share just a couple of the highlights of the work that's been done through these partnerships. The first really is community engagement. The school district partnerships have helped us connect to communities. And through these relationships, we've been able to reach over 23,000 families with our early learning and health-related materials and resources. The second is additional funding. First 5 has provided technical assistance that supported Orange County districts to draw down over $50 million annually for preschool services in Orange County. And the third, and I would argue that one of the largest things that we have is the Early Developmental Index, or EDI data, that every school participates in. And Orange County is actually the only county in the country that has full implementation of EDI. So the data that we get from that is fully representative population data coming from every kindergarten who is surveyed through that. This allows for to provide a valuable tool for allocating resources, forming strategic partnership with community organization, and enhancing curriculum and learning activities. Again, I just wanted to thank you all for your time. Often in the past, these just all go to consent item, and so we don't really get the opportunity to come and like say thank you to you all who are also supporting this work by continuing partnerships. So, thank you.
Thank you. As I read in my comments, we're not allowed to comment on what we heard. So, were you going to? Okay, Dr. Poehler, you have something you want to?
I can try to share a little bit from. I don't know if I fully understand the concerns with Pop Warner, but one of the things is the rates have gone up, and from my understanding, well, first and foremost, as a board, we spent almost 2 years really studying our rates for all of our facility use, our fields, our classroom spaces if people rent, auditorium, things, the boardroom, because people can rent it, et cetera. And so during that 2 years, we were really thoughtful, slow to move, but we really did several workshops to the board and to the community about what those prices could be. We looked at what other districts charge, but really it has to be what our actual cost is, plus our maintenance, et cetera. So yeah, some fields might have more expense. Turf fields are a little more expensive, but they don't have as much maintenance. So I don't know if it offsets to the same degree. So finally, then we also established user fees. Like as a public agency, we want to be able to rent it out to the public. And we gave discounted rates of what the actual rate would be. First and foremost to lay for city partners, and then to nonprofits, and then to nonprofits that really serve students within our community, and then nonprofits that are volunteer, like AYSO, or nonprofits that maybe seek a salary that would be maybe a slightly higher tier, and then just a for-profit business as well. So there are different tiers in those rate structures. It got formally, most districts take a look at that every 2 to 3 years. So we're actually almost going to have to look at that again, go at least through a study. But then when the board approved it, we also decided, we knew it was going to cause increases to some user groups, to almost all who use fields, classroom spaces actually, and parking lots that went down, I think, in some areas. So we decided to pause and give them at least 6 months before the implementation would occur, so that people could really make sure that they had time to do that. I do understand that with Pop Warner, it looks like we had charged a wrong amount for a number of years, and so the rates were much lower than they should have been charged. We didn't go back to ask for that. And so what we did this year, because we really do believe in the emotional IQ and kind of describing our behavior before we engage in it, is from my understanding and talking to our team, as we use this year, we still discounted the rate, since that would be a shock to have this rate go up, and what I'm hearing is potentially triple. So we discounted it this year, but really let the teams know, or the organizations, I'm told, what that rate would be moving forward, so that they kind of had a year to kind of get adjusted to that. And then probably next year is the year that it's now the real price. And so our job, first and foremost, for our facilities is to serve the needs of our students and our teams that are directly related to the school and to the district programs. And then beyond that, we open it up for the community use in those areas. And so next year will probably even be more difficult for some field use at Los Alamitos High School, because we're building a gymnasium. And well, why would the gym affect field space? Because we need a place to land construction materials, trucks, things of that sort, and we can't take the parking lot. We did earlier. You can't necessarily take up classroom space, so some of that landing area is on part of the fields, which will limit some of the field use there as well. We're certainly willing to partner with any of our user groups to see if there's another field, and each field has a different rate, so maybe there's ways to kind of take a look at that through Facilitron, through our facilities department, and we'd be happy to try to brainstorm where we can, but those will be some constraints that we'll have next year. So just thought I'd share briefly. I don't know if that helps or not, but I wanted to shed a little bit of light.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who came to speak and to show their support. Okay, now we're going back to our consent calendar. Oh no, we're going to a presentation of Measure K and Measure G Citizens Bond Oversight Committee, our annual report. Mrs. Galicia.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. It gives me great pleasure to call Porvi Trivedi to the podium. She is currently our CBOC chair, and she's going to be presenting on the annual CBOC report for 22-23. And I want to take this opportunity to really thank Porvi for her time and dedication, as well as all the members in the CBOC who have been absolutely amazing to work with. Thank you, Porvi.
Good evening, members of the board, cabinet members, Dr. Pulver. I'm Porvi Trivedi. I'm the chair of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee, also known as CBOC for short. The Citizens Bond Oversight Committee was established as a result of Measure G, a local bond measure being approved by voters in the 2018 election. The passage of the bond measure necessitated the formation of CBOC, so the district put out a call to community members for volunteers. This past year, there were 9 committee members. Each applied, sat for an interview, and were appointed to the committee by the Los Alamitos Unified School District Board of Education. The members are Christina Canning, Christine Coxhill, Sulima Hogum, Trini Jimenez, Allison Mohana, Lorraine Navarro, Marilyn Poe, Chad Stewart, and myself. I also would like to recognize the service of Keith Crafton, Brett Lorber, and Janet Murphy, who were members of the CBOC in 2023, and their terms have recently expired. The duties of the CBOC are threefold. One, to inform the public concerning the district's expenditures of bonds proceeds generated under Measure G and Measure K. To review the expenditure reports produced by the district to ensure bond proceeds are expended only for the purpose set forth in the measures and not for teacher or administrative salaries or other operating expenses. And three, to present to the Board of Education an annual report which shall include a statement indicating whether the district is in compliance with the requirements of certain selections in the California Constitution and a summary of the CBOC's proceedings and activities for the preceding year. Tonight, I'm here on behalf of our entire committee to present the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee annual report for fiscal year 2022 and 2023, which you should have received via email earlier today. Leading up to tonight, CBCOC held meetings on October 12th, 2022, January 25th, 2023, March 29th, 2023, October 11th, 2023, January 24th, 2024, and most recently, March 27th, 2024. At our committee meeting on January 24th, 2024, CBOC was presented with the annual audit by Alan Sue of Edie Bailey, an independent auditing firm. Mr. Sue presented the financial statement and performance audits for Measure G and Measure K to the CBOC. In the audit, it states both financial statement audits had no adjustments, and the firm issued an unmodified opinion on both Measure K and Measure G. There were no findings with respect to the financial statements. Mr. Sue answered the questions posed to him by the members of the CBOC with full and complete answers. Measure G and Measure K 2023 final audit reports are available for review online at the school district's website, lasalle.org, under the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee tab. The website also contains other information of activities of the CBOC. At the CBC's request, the district has kept everything up to date and all relevant information. Tomorrow, the annual board report will be posted as well. In conclusion, the CBOC finds that Los Alamitos Unified School District to be in compliance with the requirements of Article 13A, Section 1B3 of the California Constitution. Now, having presented the annual report for 2022 and 2023 of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee to the Los Alamitos Board of Education, the CBCOC would like to thank Dr. Andrew Pulver, Elvia Garcia, CJ Nolan, Myra Gonzalez, and Shoshana Blazer for all their assistance throughout our term. We have been provided with rapid responses to all our requests for the information, clarification, detailed reporting. It has been a true pleasure working with all of them to achieve our stated mission. The committee would also like to extend our gratitude to you, members of our Board of Education, for your impeccable service. Thank you again for this opportunity to present the board report to you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from board members? No, I would like to thank you on behalf of the board and everyone in our community for your work on our Citizen Bond Committee. I don't want to say it keeps us honest, because we'd be honest without it, but it makes us much more transparent. And it was part of the agreement when we actually passed the bond. So that was a good thing. And it's work. And I, speaking for the entire board, really appreciate the time and effort that the committee and you yourself personally put into doing this. So thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Right. Yeah, I was going to say that we're going... if the kids want to go home and do their homework, they should. Let's just put it out there. Yeah, thank you so much for coming. We do appreciate it. Okay, we're on to our quarterly Williams report, which is a uniform complaints, and Dr. Weiss-Wright.
Thank you, Madam President. We have no complaints that were filed within this last quarter.
Okay, that's our favorite kind of Williams report, none. Okay, we are on the consent calendar. Consent items are considered customary and usual by nature. If we feel that we need more explanations or if we want to pull the highlight, we can do that. But I don't have any notation of pulling any, so I entertain a motion to approve consent items 10A through AD.
I'll second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, we're now on to our action part of our agenda. Coming up, we are having some resolutions that we are passing in support of some very, very, very important people. And so I would like Mr. Fayette to start and read part of the resolution.
Thank you, Madam President.
This is for our classified employees.
Resolution number 2023-2024-22. Los Alamitos Unified School District Board of Education and Administration, District Classified Employees. Whereas classified professionals provide valuable service to the staff and students of the Los Alamitos Unified School District, and whereas classified professionals contribute to the establishment and promotion of a positive instructional environment, and now therefore be it resolved that the Los Alamitos Unified School District hereby recognizes and wishes to honor the contributions of the classified professionals to quality education in the state of California and in the Los Alamitos Unified School District, and declares the week of May 20th through the 24th, 2024 as Classified School Employees Week in the Los Alamitos Unified School District.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Fayette. I do need a motion for approval.
That was the motion.
Second.
Okay, this is a roll call.
Mr. Fayette?
Aye.
Mrs. Davidson?
Aye.
Ms. Cattouli?
Aye.
Mr. Forehand?
Aye.
Mrs. Hill?
Aye.
Okay, we'll do the motion ahead of time now. May I have a motion to adopt the resolution 2023-2024-23 in recognition of Day of the Teacher?
So move.
Second.
Okay. And Mrs. Davidson, will you please read the part of the resolution?
Sure. Day of the Teacher, May 7th, 2024, making a difference every day. Whereas we all remember a teacher who had a significant positive impact on our own lives, and whereas the guidance, support, and inspiration that teachers provide to students is invaluable and contributes tremendously to the well-being of our great nation, and whereas no other profession touches as many people with such a lasting effect, whereas paramount to students' success in tomorrow's world is their effective personal and intellectual development, whereas the educators of the Los Alamitos Unified School District provide the vital lessons that enable our youth to master and reach their fullest potential, whereas it is fitting that our community and all Californians pay tribute to our teachers and their lasting achievements on behalf of our students and the future of the Los Alamitos Unified School District and the nation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education and Administration recognize May 7th, 2024 as Day of the Teacher in the Los Alamitos Unified School District, and activities will take place to recognize Los Alamitos Unified School District's teachers who are most sincerely appreciated.
Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Fayette?
Aye.
Mrs. Davidson?
Aye.
Ms. Cattouli?
Aye.
Mr. Forehand?
Aye.
Mrs. Hill?
Aye.
Okay, may I have a motion for adoption of Resolution 2324-24, and this is Recognition Day of the Administrator.
I so move.
Second.
Okay, and Mr. Forehand, please
Yes.
read this.
Whereas leadership matters for California's public education system and the more than 6 million students it serves, and whereas the title school administrator is a broad term used to define many educational leadership posts, superintendents, assistant superintendents, administrators of instructional programs, school business officials, classified educational leaders, and other school district employees are considered administrators. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Education of the Los Alamitos Unified School District that May 1st, 2024 be proclaimed as Day of the School Administrator.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, I just want to make a comment on all three of them. All of these people are essential to the successful education of our students, and this is just a way for us to officially take a moment to say thank you. Right. Roll call, please.
Mr. Fayette. Mrs. Davidson. Ms. Cattouli.
Aye.
Mr. Forehand. Mrs. Hill.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Now we're on to the second reading and approval of our revised board policy for bullying. Dr. Weiss-Wright, would you like to speak to that?
Sure, Madam President. This is our second reading. This adds clarifying language about cyberbullying and adds options for schools to implement restorative practices and or other interventions prior to suspension, and it's aligned with our current practices.
Okay, great. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there any discussion? This is our second reading. We always have them come before the board twice. So all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Now we have second reading and approval of our board policy for involuntary student transfers. Dr. Weiss-Wright.
Thank you. This is also a second reading, and this policy is being considered in accordance with the CSBA policy guide sheet recommendations. Per California Education Code, the governing board of a district is required to adopt a policy in order to exercise the option to involuntarily transfer a student to another school within the district.
Okay, thank you. And again, it is our second reading. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Now we're on to supplemental materials. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry? Oh, it didn't get a second?
Oh, I second. I'll second.
Thank you.
You need a motion. So Mr. Forehand moved. Do we have a second?
I second.
Are we? Okay, then I'm going to recall for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you very much, Ms. D'Angelo, keeping us on our toes. Why not? Yeah, well, sure we can. Okay, yeah, if you're in orange, you definitely don't want to say that. Dr. Pulver, we're on to approval of our supplemental materials.
Yes, Madam President, if you would like, the board is welcome to pass to kind of F, G, and H collectively in one. F is supplemental materials. It's the Summer Scholars, Language, Arts, and Mathematics. It'll be a curriculum that we have had on for 30 days and the curriculum we plan to use for summer school at our elementary, TK5. G is the narrative of life of Frederick Douglass, and this is one of the supplemental materials that we're really excited to bring forward. That's an autobiography of an escaped slave who became a prominent abolitionist and an orator in the 19th century. So we're looking forward. I know you've read it and you're holding up the book. And then H is The Way to Rainy Mountain, and that is also for our English classes at the high school. It's a narrative that explores the author's Kiowa heritage, incorporating the Kiowa myths, oral histories, and personal reflections, providing readers with diverse perspectives and insight into the cultural heritage of the Native Americans. And all three of these curriculum supplemental materials have been on public display for 30 days, and they're now ready for the board to consider approval.
So at the board's leisure, do we want to approve 11 F, G, and H all at once?
Yes. I so move.
I second.
Okay. Any discussion?
I just have.
Oh, yes.
I just have one comment, and I think Frederick Douglass's autobiography, was written because, first of all, people did not believe that anybody so well-educated and intelligent could be a slave. And then secondly, he wrote the autobiography because he was a runaway slave. He sold the biography in order to buy his freedom, to show people that he really had lived in servitude. And I just think these stories are incredibly important for our students to read. And a autobiography can't get any closer to the truth. So I really applaud the selection of that book.
Well, if you're going to make a comment on the book, I'll make a comment on The Way to Rainy Mountain. And this is about an indigenous a tribe of American Indians. And this is when my literature background comes in. The way it is written, they would have like one part which would be their folklore, their oral tradition. and then one part would then be historical of what actually happened as opposed to oral tradition, and then one part would be the current times, and they would wove them all together. There's many ways to teach this book and many ways to read this book, so whatever high school teacher selected this, you deserve a medal. They really do. I just think this book, you could probably spend 3 weeks on it, but knowing the curriculum that needs to be covered, they won't. But yeah, I was very happy that was our book. Okay, all discussion over. All those in favor, please say aye. 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 Opposed, motion carries 5-0. Now we're on to HI, approval to increase our board members' monthly compensation by 5% according to our bylaws. Dr. Pulver, are you going to talk about this? I mean,
yes. So, Madam President, as you esteemed members of the board, as you are well aware, Ed Code specifies and limits the amount that stipends that our board members can have for the vast duties that they do to serve the public. And what it can be increased by. So it can be increased by up to 5%. Traditionally, this board has waited to ensure that if any minuscule increase to your stipend is agreed to, is waited until any agreements have been made with our employees, so that you're the last to take a salary increase or a stipend increase. And so, as you know, over the last 2 years, our agreements with our employees was 11%, actually, I believe it was for the combined over the 2 years. And so now it's up for your consideration, should you want to exercise the ability to increase your stipend as well.
Okay, I know this is an item that we wish to discuss as a board, so I would like someone to put forth a motion so that we can discuss it. It would be a motion to approve.
I motion that we approve 11I.
Thank you, and I need a second. Okay, is there anyone who would like to make comments about this? Okay, I'm going to make a comment. We're looking at cutting $7 million out of our budget in the next 2 years because of the state budget. I figured out that this 5% increase would be less than, for the entire board per year, less than $1,000, which out of our $115 million budget is probably considered budget dust, as that's what they refer to such small amounts of money. But it is also very much the principle of the thing. And I know, because I've seen the disgruntled expressions on my fellow board members, that even though we're talking about an insignificant amount of money compared to what we need to do, you need to lead by example. And so we will keep I just paid $5 a gallon for gas. So we will keep our stipends as they are, and we will support our schools to the best of all of our abilities. Anybody else want to say anything?
I agree.
Okay, so we have a motion on the board to approve it. So I'm now going to call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay.
Nay.
A motion defeated 5-0. I am very proud to serve with my fellow board members. Okay, now we're on to the California CMAS. Oh boy, contract for roofing projects. With all the rain, it's a good thing. Maybe we should have done the roofing projects before, but with all the rain, it's good we're doing roofing projects. Okay, Mrs. Galicia.
Thank you, Madam President. We are requesting approval to utilize a CMAS contract. As you know, a CMAS contract allows us to purchase materials at a lower cost. So these are materials that we're purchasing for our summer roofing projects. That would be buildings 150, 600, 800, and the PAC.
Okay, may I please have a motion? Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We are having lots of maintenance work done this summer, so which we need to do. We promised our community when we passed our bonds that we would keep everything in good condition. Okay, our next one is an acceptance and approval of an agreement for a roofing company in the 150 buildings at the high school. Mrs. Galicia.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Chapman Coast Roofing Company was the successful lowest competitive bidder to be awarded this contract. So we are requesting approval for the 150 building roofing project.
Great. May I have a motion, please? Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And now we have acceptance and approval of an agreement with Keystone Builders for classroom renovations at the high school. Mrs. Galicia.
Thank you, Madam President. In addition to the roofing projects, we are doing the classroom renovations during the summer period. And Keystone was the successful lowest responsible bidder for the classroom renovations, and that would include the building 600, 650, a portion of the 750, and 800 buildings.
May I have a motion?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in, oh, yeah.
I just want to say, having been a teacher, there's nothing like coming back into a fresh classroom that's clean and new looking and has a lot of technology that will advance what goes on in the classroom. So thank you for being so diligent.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And now we have another one for approval and acceptance of a bid for the 600 building roofing at the high school.
Thank you,
I
Madam
so move
President.
approval.
Second. Okay, Ms. Galicia?
Thank you, Madam President.
Oh, sorry.
No, don't worry. So as you probably wondering why so many companies, we bidded these projects separately because we have such a short period of time to complete all of them. So that's a very tactful way of making sure we complete all of them. So Best was the successful bidder for the 600 building for the roofing project.
Okay, and do I have a motion?
Yes.
I made a motion.
Okay, and we have a second. Okay, any comment? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And we are on to acceptance.
800 building.
Pardon?
The 800 building. N.
10?
N.
And I'm sorry. Okay, the acceptance with Chapman Coast Roof Company for the 600 building at the high school. May I have a motion?
Thank you, Madam President. This is
800 building.
Oh, I am sorry. The 800 building. Thank you. I appreciate the clarification.
I am so sorry. I'm causing so many confusions here. So this one is Chapman again. They were awarded the 800 building for the roofing project.
Okay. We got a motion.
Yes, we do. Motion
So
is second.
we just need to discuss
vote.
it? Come on, you guys must have something new and different to say about this one. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I'm reading ahead, which I shouldn't do. We have now an agreement with ATCO Roofing for the Performing Arts Center at the high school. Mrs. Galicia, and then I'll get a motion.
So ATCO was the lowest responsible bidder for the PAC project, for the roofing project for the summer.
Okay, may I, do I have a second? Any discussion?
I do. I do. And I don't mean to, I just had a thought. And it's so funny because we read through these and we send questions in, but sometimes when you discuss it or it comes forward. So I would imagine they'll be using similar materials.
That is correct. We're purchasing the materials all together using the CMAS contract.
Fabulous.
So these are just the contractors that are going to be performing the work.
Perfect.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much, Mrs. Galicia.
That's a huge point, that we're buying the material.
Yeah.
Because we don't mark it up to ourselves. Everybody else does.
Yeah.
I just want to say something. So we do get to ask questions, and Mrs. Galicia answered my question, whether or not, because this is an expensive project, but it's a necessary one. We don't want the water leaking on people as they're watching performances. But did that mean, since it comes out more than we expected, would that be to the detriment of other projects? And she said, you explained that those projects are still out there being considered. So
That is correct. So
Yeah.
the total classroom budget, classroom renovation, as well as the roofing projects were all under one budget, which was $12 million, and we're still within that budget.
So thank you for your great business sense.
Yeah, just to be clear, the cost for the roofing of the PAC is not necessarily coming out of the allocation where we've talked about allocating up to $8 million, maybe more if we get more matching funds for the PAC. This is just part of the renovation project of all the other classroom roofings as well. So we'll still have the 8 million to enhance the PAC, whether it be the stage, sound, microphones, lighting, restrooms, et cetera. And as you all know, $8 million doesn't always go so far. But we have been working with consultants to help us and with our various performing arts groups to help us identify the most critical needs for the PAC and how to best allocate those dollars to get the needs, the priorities of the needs done.
Thank you. That's really important and it's encouraging. So thank you.
It is. Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I just wanted to also make another comment. Like, this is a lot of work at the high school. And I remember when we opened the STEM building, I just thought it was, and I still think it is an incredibly beautiful edifice. And it's inspiring to be in it. And you would think the kids just love being in it and our teachers love being in it. But what about the rest of the staff that's not in it? Are you now the redheaded stepchild that nobody really wants to see at dinner, family dinners? And no, we love you all. So roofing can be less than exciting, but if it's raining on you, it's very important. And the renovations of the rest of the rooms, because it's important that our staff and our students know we care about how they are learning and the environment that they're learning in, because it truly does affect the success of the actual education going on in the room. Okay, now we're on to Resolution 2023-24-21, which is we're acting as the legislative body of the Community Facilities District that goes back to our Mello-Roos bond that was passed in 1990.
I believe so,
Yes. So before we go ahead with that, Mrs. Khaleesi, would you like to address it?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. We bring forward this resolution every year to allow us the opportunity to increase the fees that these property special tax, which is, again, the Mello-Roos. As you know, these funds are used to pay our COPs annually, so they are necessary for us to make sure we make those payments.
Right. And our repayment is determined upon our continual increase. So may I have a motion, please? Second, okay. Is there any discussion among the board members? No, my only comment is that nobody likes raising taxes, and all of us pay this tax, on all the board members do, but it was taken into consideration while financing our bonds. And I also want to bring up the fact that probably 4 years ago, we were able to refinance our bonds, and we saved over $1 million on the total cost of our bonds because we were able to refinance them at a lower amount of money. So even though we're doing a small increase here, we have saved way more money to our taxpayers and ourselves by doing this. So while we don't like raising taxes, you have to pay your bills, and we want to maintain our facilities, but we are smart enough and dedicated enough to watch to see when it is good for us to refinance any of our financial vehicles that we need to pay for the things that we need. Okay, roll call.
Mr. Fayette. Aye. Mrs. Davidson. Aye. Ms. Cattouli.
Aye.
Mr. Forehand. Aye. Mrs. Hill.
Aye.
Okay, we are now coming on for items Q through X, which are all job classifications and descriptions that have been brought before our Personnel Commission, who reviews, discusses, fine lines, and defines what are descriptions for our jobs. Are they accurate? Are they up to date? Are they legal? And so I'm going to ask for Mr. Weiss-Wright to address this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam President. So 6 of the job descriptions were created to support Proposition 28, which is the Arts and Music School Funding Program. So they were created in partnership with Ed Services. Those funds have to be spent largely on personnel. And so those 6 job descriptions are designed to support the arts, TK-12, and they were approved by the Personnel Commission on March 21st. So that's that first group of job descriptions. And then the final 2 are 2 skilled maintenance worker job descriptions, which are new and updated to reflect HVAC for one, and carpentry for another. So we have 4 skilled maintenance workers currently working in the district that fulfill different roles. And so HVAC and carpentry are the 2 newest ones.
Okay, thank you. I would be interested in entertaining a motion from Q through X, if the board so pleases.
Move approval.
Okay, any discussion? Thank you to the Personnel Commission. Yeah. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, we are now acknowledging the receipt of a claim dated April 5th, 2024, and received April 11th, 2024, in compliance with Government Code Section 911-15 and 945. Mrs. Galicia.
Thank you, Madam President. We are requesting rejection of this claim in order to begin litigation with attorneys.
Okay. May I have a
I
motion?
so move.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We now have our approval of warrants. Our warrants are our checkbooks, and I always want to check with Mrs. Hill, how many pages?
54.
54, yeah. My husband even walked by and he went, 54? Yeah. We get them and we read them. If we have any questions, if there is an amount, a vendor, a category, or something that we don't understand, we get all these questions answered. So may I have a motion to accept the warrants as presented? Any other discussion?
I'm just wondering if we need the Lee students here to fact check Mrs. Hill on that.
No, I'm collaborating with her on that, so it's okay.
I already text them and they're going to.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We're all going to need red flags we can throw up from now on. That was very clever. Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion, all opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We are now into the point every meeting where I think the board members become rather humbled by the support and dedication of our community when we review our donations. I am so grateful that we have so many people so dedicated to the youth in our community. And so many of the things that we do would not be as wonderful if we didn't have the support. So this month we have $38,528.84, but our year to date, and so we're coming up, June 30th is the end of our fiscal year, but we have $899,073.97. Now, if we don't make 900,000, I'm going to give the extra, $14 or whatever it is it needs to be, or $24? Yeah. I will do that. Anyway, but in all sincerity, thank you so much to our community. May I have a motion to accept?
Aye.
Okay, any discussion?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We're now on to our classified, certificated, and administrative personnel report. Dr. Weiss-Wright.
Thank you, Madam President. The classified, certificated, and administrative personnel reports reflect the changes since our last meeting, and we recommend approval as submitted.
Okay. May I have a motion to take all three as that one unit?
I so move.
Okay, that was enough comment. Yeah. I know. Did you get a name? That's all that counts. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We are now at the end of our agenda, but it is necessary for the board to go into closed session once again. So I'm going to be recessing us from open session and going into closed. Thank you so much.